Can I have a motion to resume public session? Ms. Littlewood, Ms. Urbanowski, any discussion? All in favor? Now back in public session, please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we are beginning with our GC Pride Awards.
Very good. Hello, everyone. I'm going to start with my first Pride Award. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to be here this evening. So my first Pride Award goes to Mr. Roger Brown. Roger Brown joined our driver's education team in 2016 after retiring from the public school system. When he came on board, it allowed us to offer road group options on Saturday. This allowed us to offer road groups on both days of the weekend to accommodate our students' busy schedules. Roger is hardworking, experienced, patient, and kind. Teaching young people to drive is not an easy task, but Roger excels at it. Prior to joining us in 2016, Mr. Brown worked for the district as a full-time driver's ed instructor when driver's ed was a part of the elective program, or the elective curriculum at Gates Chili from 1976 to 1980. Roger fully retired from our program the winter-spring of 2023, but he still checks in to see if I need any help every session. He is a pleasure to work with and a very deserving recipient of the Spartan Pride Award. So that's my first one. He's not here. And my second one is Mr. Goodwin. And so I present you with this.
Thank you.
Mr. Goodwin has been teaching driver's education for Gates Chili since 2002. He is also an earth science teacher at the Holly Central School District, where he is about to complete his final year of teaching. Dan has been at Gates Chili for 23 years, teaching both the classroom lecture and the road groups in-car lessons. In that time, he has taught close to 2,500 young people to drive. As those of us who have raised young drivers know, I lost my place when I looked at Allison. As those of us who raise young drivers know, this is not a task for the faint at heart and requires dedication, commitment, compassion, and bravery. For years, he started his weekly Sunday morning shift at 7 a.m. We are proud to have him teaching for our program, and we thank him for his commitment to our students. We are also happy to report that we will be his future retirement gig. Congratulations, Dan.
Thank you. Thank you.
So we got to go take a picture.
Thank you and congratulations. Do we have any agenda changes?
Yes, personnel.
Thank you.
You are welcome.
All right, board president's comments. I wanted to take some time to thank everyone who participated in and or watched the budget hearing and meet the candidates night, as it's an important part of supporting our community and making sure our schools are supporting our students and we're all working together for the same goals. I also wanted to recognize that the work that the Monroe County School Board Association does in supporting our districts and our school boards with different trainings, with different advocacy and leadership opportunities, and really the opportunity to be part of different executive leadership meetings to learn and collaborate in my role as president, but also for all other board members as well. I also wanted to just again highlight all the opportunities we have in spring as we're getting closer to the end of the year, and sports and music and everything that is here for our kids and our staff. My son recently participated in the national competition for DECA, so he got that opportunity, which was a big deal for him going across the country and being able to use skills he's worked on all year, attending the Brasser Band and Chorus concert and seeing all of their smiling faces and their cute little dance moves, which was fun. And yesterday I was able to support both schools I'm connected to, which I love, the one I work for and then the one here is the board, at a track meet outside of my building in the wonderful pouring rain. It was a very wet track meet, but they had fun. And just to also add in some of that other work we do as board members, the different types of committees and learning opportunities we have within our community. We had our school counselor advisory committee meeting recently and being able to hear and see the work done at all the different grade levels. Do we have any points of interest? Ms. Kais?
I had the pleasure of watching our Gates Chile Marching Band in the Lilac Festival this weekend, and as usual, they always put on a fantastic show. Gates Chile always has the biggest marching band there. It's really nice to see them, and the crowd was quite supportive of our band.
Do we have any other points of interest? Alana?
This week, for Gates Chile High School seniors, we're having our ball, and we're very excited to have that occur. We're also having our primetime event, but during that Friday, we will be having somewhat of a grim discussion as we'll be conducting the simulation of a crash to teach teens to be very careful about drinking and driving and staying aware while driving.
Thank you. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Any other points of interest? Ms. Jennings, go right ahead.
As you all know, we recently celebrated Teacher Appreciation Week throughout the district, and I had the opportunity to assist the Florence Brasser PTA with handing out iced and hot tea along with assorted cookies to the teachers and staff at Florence Brasser. It was amazing to see the smiles that we were able to put on their faces just with something so simple. So that was a cool thing. It was just a small token of appreciation for what they do for our children throughout the year. And then I also had the opportunity to attend the Florence Brasser spring concert. And this was, it was an amazing display of our kids' talent. So I also attended the winter concert. And so just to see their growth from the winter to the spring was just amazing. And kudos to Mrs. Daniel, the band teacher, and Mrs. Dunn, the chorus teacher. They did an amazing job, and the kids as well. So,
Thank you. Any other points of interest? Ms. Davis?
The Code of Conduct Stakeholder Committee is working on wrapping up our rewriting of the Code of Conduct. So very excited about that as far as how great this is going to be for our district, and hope to have that rolled out to presented to the board by the end of next month, and then to the district shortly after, I believe is the timeline. So,
Thank you. Any other points? All right. That moves us forward to report of meetings. Do we have any meetings that have happened? Mr. Moscato?
Thank you. I had the opportunity to attend the Monroe County School Board's Law Conference a couple weeks ago. There were three main topics. One was policy, and I think the fact that we have a very active and competent policy committee puts us in good stead. The one interesting point was to avoid using the word insure. Districts don't insure anything. So if you use it, it could be used against you in the case. That was sort of interesting there. Second topic was on general gender equity. And of course, the problem comes down to Title IX. And we're still looking at what's going to happen with the revisions of Title IX and how it's going to affect scholastic athletics more than anything else. And the last topic was artificial intelligence. And basically, they talked about its use, what kids can do with it. There was a very good demonstration where the presenter brought up open source AI and asked it a question, and it produced a policy. So again, it's something that's going to be here. Kids and teachers are going to use it. It's just a question of hopefully not abuse it or anything else. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you. Did we have any other meetings? Okay. Do we have any visitor comments? All right, that moves us on to reports. We have our capital project update.
Good evening, everyone. Oh, it's me still. All right, we've had a lot of we've had a lot of things happen over the past month. I've got a lot of visuals to show you this week. We're at the good part of construction where walls are starting to go up, and there's a lot to look at. So over the past month, our general contractor continued general demolition throughout the new fax space as well as the new district office space. Since putting this presentation together, that has been completed. There's some minor cuts and floors and things that need to be done, but generally, most materials that are coming out are done. The fax classroom concrete floor cutting is completed. You'll be able to see that in a couple photos. That's new plumbing and new electric going under the ground. Foundations have been poured for the new fax room, the addition that I showed you last week that was dug out. Those foundations have been poured and backfilled. Laying out the new district office walls, I've got some great photos of that to show you guys as well. That's the next bullet as well. Concrete floors that were open in district office that had plumbing and electric. Those have been filled in to support the walls. And then the skylights that are going in the district office space have been laid out and started to be framed in. In terms of plumbing work, as I mentioned before, the underground sanitary has been installed in the district office and is being installed in the fax space as we speak. And then the rough-in of the new bathrooms in the district office is nearing completion as well. Mechanical work, they did a little bit more demolition. They've been off-site a bit as the walls are starting to go up, and then they've been laying out their new runs and where the new mechanical equipment pieces are going. Electrical, they did complete their demolition completely in the district office and fax spaces, and they continued their lighting rough-in district office, and then rough-in power and data in district office, and then rough-in power in the fax locations. For the month of May and into June, the district office, the wall framing is going to continue, starting to see board go up on these stud walls, and then from there, finishing the drywall. Tunnel reinforcing, so under the district office space, there is a crawl space tunnel where we're putting some storage files. There's some steel going inside of that tunnel. That'll be done this coming month. Mechanical rough-ins, as I mentioned before, the mechanical contractor has been here laying things out. They're going to be starting to put ductwork in. You may have seen that laying on the ground as you pulled in this evening. And then the skylight openings are being cut and formed on the roof. In the new fax location, they're going to finish their interior demolition. The old wrestling gymnasium, the hardwood floor has been removed. There's a couple cuts that need to happen in there. And then they're going to backfill the foundations and then prepare for new steel for the new structure. Interior mechanical rough-in as well in this space, and then interior masonry walls will be starting. Coming up this summer, we are renovating the technology department in the high school and the middle school, along with the art and health in the middle school. So as of right now, a couple of storage containers have been dropped off for both locations to start preparing the moves for this space. There's a lot of materials that need to be taken out and temporarily stored while we complete construction and then reinstalled in the new spaces. So those are here, and we're working with district personnel to move all those items out. In terms of budget, the contracts has not changed, but we are, as of right now, 5% billed to date. We're right on target for where we are with construction. Phase $2, this number has not changed either. We are finalizing a review of the budgets and estimate for the Phase 2 work that went to the state in February. So we'll have better information on where these dollars are going to land soon. We're still at SED, which we can talk to later, anticipating sometime in September that that's coming out. The contingency dollars, which I'll get to on the next slide, has not changed, and neither has the allowances. Of the contingency, the $2.3 million, we have a pending amount of $170,000, and we have executed $19,500, which for both phases leaves us a balance of $2.1 million in contingency. It's still very healthy for where we have what we have left to go. And then we have still not touched the allowances. We're in a good position. We've done a lot of underground work for the two spaces that we've been in, and we have, knock on wood, not run into a lot of issues underground. And that's usually where you run into issues. Now for some photos. So this photo was taken right at the day after the last board meeting we were here. Track was installed on the ground for the new walls. This is looking into where the business office section of the district office will be. And then about a week later, we had walls up everywhere. Still in the business office, there's this, you can see a small half wall, the couple offices to the right, and then there's a storage area to the left. These are the new 2 conference rooms in the curved roof area of the south portion, the newer portion. That was one giant room before. Campus's office used to be in there and is now 2 conference rooms that are going up. You may notice on the right-hand photo, there's a couple of openings. So there will be a hallway between where the existing windows were, and these openings will be windows into the conference room to allow natural light to continue into the room. This is in the older portion of the building, but the old hallway is now being split into 2 on both sides. So where the classrooms were, openings are being created in the walls, and new hallways are run through there. The center area is going to become a conference room and a storage room and a couple other items. This is a corner office, before and after, the bottom track, and then with the walls up. And this is just a general photo of a framed skylight. Since then, this photo was taken, that drywall, or not drywall, the studs have come down, and you can start to see where the soffit will be. This is in the fax space. As I mentioned before, this is where the concrete has been cut to run the plumbing and electric. A lot of these lines will feed the new cook stations in the fax classroom. This is the gymnasium floor in the old wrestling room that was cut up. There'll be a plumbing line run right through the center of this. This was an interesting substance to find under here. It appears to be roofing tar that was used as a waterproofing membrane. I have never seen that before below a hardwood floor. This is the addition the day after they poured the footer. Concrete set. And then this is about a week later. The concrete walls have been poured, and then the insulation that goes on the outside of the walls installed. This will be a grilling station on the back side of the fax classroom. The foundations for that are shown here. And then this is very recently, the concrete was all backfilled and brought up to where the slab will be poured.
When was that picture taken? A couple days ago?
Last week.
Last week?
Yes.
Yeah, I drove by. There's a wall now covering those windows. There's a mechanical scaffolding's up
Yeah.
there. It's moving right along.
A lot happens quick. I can't get photos fast enough to put in here. And then phase 2, this still has not changed. We're still at SED, like I mentioned before, anticipating to come out sometime in September, bid and award, and hope to be starting construction in phase 2 in the year of early 2025.
While it's at SED, we're going through and doing our QA/QC. Some of you may have seen some of our design staff walking through the buildings, documenting conditions. Once school lets out during the summer, we'll do an exhaustive walkthrough with all the design consultants. That'll take at least a couple of days. We'll be walking all the spaces and just tightening up the documents.
Do you want to talk about the LE?
Yes, are you next?
That's you.
Yeah. Questions? So we also, as well as the capital improvement project, the board approved the seeker in April 30th for the capital outlay project. That is a program that SEDs has for districts to be able to do, take small bites out of capital items that have been discussed through their building condition survey. So instead of waiting 4 or 5 years for large capital projects, this allows you to yearly do up to $100,000 worth of scope and can be aided back on aided scope yearly. This year, the district is using that money to start replacing select exterior windows. So aged out, broken, it's time to replace those. So we're working with the facilities office to identify those. We'll scope those, put estimates, and then submit to the state with the intent of having that completed next summer.
Are there any questions?
Did you say that was a grilling station outside the fax room?
Yes.
Very cool.
It'll be a fancy steel
It'll be appropriate, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
One comment. I just want to thank you for having the report attached, to the agenda so we could look at it. Made it much easier to follow things. Thank you.
Of course.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that moves us forward to our continuing education and volunteers report.
Oh, I forgot to click, don't I? Oh, you guys, can you tell I'm nervous? Except I don't know how to click. Okay. Okay. Good evening, Superintendent Daley, President Coffey, and members of the Board of Education. My name's Marla Shafalo. I'm the Director of Continuing Education, and tonight I'll be presenting overviews regarding these outstanding Gates Child Eye programs: the Continuing Education Program, the Driver's Education Program, community use of the Spartan Fieldhouse, the Volunteer Program, and facility rentals. We'll begin with the Continuing Education Program. There's lots of people who work hard to make our continuing education programs happen. Josie Argento joins us tonight. Wait. She's our daytime receptionist. Derek Yacono also joins us tonight. He's our Fieldhouse Supervisor, Aquatic Director, and he also oversees facility rentals. And we work under the direction of Ken Hamill. We used 21 independent contractors in 2023, or in the year 2022-2023, 14 community partners, and 10 hourly instructors for our programs. Did I do something wrong? Ah, beautiful. All right, we'll go right through those. Okay. Our offerings are designed to meet the learning needs of our community with programs for all ages, from parent and child swim lessons to the AARP Safe Driving course for older adults. We provide a variety of unique topics and learning opportunities. As you know, we offer our community programming all year long, with brochures mailed to district residents in the fall, winter, spring, and summer. We create our brochure with help from the Monroe County, or from Monroe to Orleans Bosse's print shop and graphic designer Lisa Constantine. And of course, we are assisted by our own communications team, Ms. Petrosino and Ms. Nobles. We're going to start with some of our most popular programs. One of our very popular programs is our Paint Your Pet Portrait class with middle school art teacher Alyssa Manu, who does amazing work. In 2022-23, we were focusing on utilizing our new Performing Arts Center, so we introduced 2 new summer community bands. Pictured here is our elementary summer community band with Mr. Potter, and pictured here is our summer middle school community band with Mrs. DeGraves. Both groups performed summer concerts. Mr. Potter also offered a series of African drumming classes for kids, teens, and adults that summer. This slide shows our Gates Child Eye Community Choir in its initial year. The group kicked off with over 25 community members who met on Monday nights. The choir is under the direction of Ms. Christine Merkel. Other new programs included the return of the popular evening AARP Safe Driving program, adult ballet, adult tap dance, public speaking, creative writing, sewing, anagrams, and first aid and CPR for pets. In the summer of 2022, we partnered with FoodLink, and the curbside market was on campus weekly from June to September, selling fresh fruits and vegetables. We also support Mrs. Pound, who oversees the Gates Child Eye Food Pantry, with the purchase of food, the collection of food drive food, delivery of food to homes, and grant funds management, which is done as a part of the GC3 group by Derek. Popular programs. We have to kick off with our wildly popular Gates Child Eye Community Concert Band under the direction of Chris Oldfield. With over 50 members, this group includes Gates Child Eye staff members, alumni, senior citizens, parents, community members, and young adults. These folks come from all walks of life. They usually do 2 concerts a year, a holiday performance and a spring concert. Here they're pictured performing at our annual Gates Child Eye Fall Family Festival. Does anybody play an instrument? Anybody? Because they always are looking for new members. Other popular programs, all of our yoga programs are popular. We have a very comprehensive yoga, series of yoga classes, with the outdoor yoga probably being the most popular one. And the other class pictured is our psychic medium class. For kids, popular programs include swim lessons, the babysitting course, our cooking classes and camps, especially the kids' pie making class, the kids' golf program, Spanish for the elementary years, and music lessons with Josh. For teens, we offer permit testing. And fun fact, last year I tested 135 Gates Chi students. I think that's a high. And we also offer the 5-hour course that they need to get their driver's license. Here's some numbers and data for Dr. Ball. In 2022-2023, we offered 404 classes. This was up from 345 last year. To be perfectly honest, we continue to recover from COVID. People found new ways to learn, but we are seeing a comeback. Winter was our strongest attended session with 381 individuals attending classes, followed by the fall session. But if you look at that, there's a 4-person difference. And our fall session was the most profitable, but only by $49, which is just another kind of crazy thing that happens with my numbers. They come very close to each other. Here's the grand totals. Overall, we registered just over 1,000 people. Like I said, we did 404 classes. Our gross income was $56,535, and our expenses were $41,182, which left us with a net profit of $15,000. That's up about $1,000 from last year. Next, we're going to talk about driver's ed, and we kind of already talked about driver's ed because my Spartan Pride winners were both our driver's ed instructors. But Mr. Goodwin, who you met earlier, our other instructor is Mr. John Del Vecchio. He's been here since 2003. And finally, Mr. Roger Brown, who retired this year, but was here since 2016. We also need to say something about Mr. Andy Porter, who is the head mechanic at Gates Chi. And we're so lucky because he's really great at keeping our car in tip-top shape. During this period, we drove 2 cars. We started the summer using a 2016 Ford Fusion, and in the spring of 2023, we purchased a 2023 Chevy Equinox. As you know, we offer driver's education twice a year, in the summer and in the winter spring. In 2022-2023, we had 96 students successfully complete the program and receive their MV285 certificate. This is the treasured certificate, and the reason why kids want to take driver's ed, because that allows you to get your Class D license at 17, but more importantly, they're able to drive after 9 legally. So that's the motivator. Our program used 401 gallons of gas and traveled just under 10,000 miles last year. And if you have a student who's ready to take driver's ed, tomorrow's the deadline for the lottery. So you want to get your name in on the driver's ed lottery. And you have an email, hopefully, in your email if you're in that situation. Here are the financials for driver's ed. The cost of the program is $500 per student in district and $575 out of district. In order to help families with this expense, we offer a payment plan. And it's not just families. I do get a number of children that are paying by the income that they receive from part-time jobs. So they'll come in, and we do any type of payment plan as long as the payment is done by the end of the year. In 2022-2023, we collected $43,275 in tuition. After expenses, our net profit was $18,606. There's just one thing to keep in mind about these numbers. We don't have a car payment right now, which allows us to have a larger net profit for the year. The next component is the community use of the Spartan Fieldhouse. As you know, we open the Spartan Fieldhouse for school district residents in the evenings and on weekends. District residents are able to use the indoor track, fitness center, and pool. They can also take advantage of our family swim times. In 2023, we did 104 fitness center orientations. This is the required class to use the fitness center. Derek Yacono is our Fieldhouse supervisor. Amanda Entris, Deb Staub, and Amy Menz are the evening supervisors. We have 7 centuries. We use centuries that check you in at the window, and they're kind of interchangeable with fitness center attendants who are actually in the fitness center while we're open. And right now we have 31 lifeguards and swim instructors. It's kind of, that's a high for us, isn't it? Yeah. This is a fun slide. Our lifeguarding staff requires annual training and recertification. Derek provides all of the required training for our guards. and many of our staff members. Derek holds a very high level of Red Cross certification and is an American Red Cross instructor trainer. He can certify individuals to teach any level of Red Cross classes, including first aid, CPR, lifeguard training, and WSI. One of the unique ways we train our staff is by hosting the Gates Child Lifeguard Games, where employees create teams and demonstrate life-saving skills, and we use judges and a point system to determine the winning team. Pictured here is the winning team of Jericho Yates, CJ Reed, and Evan Schmidt. And they're showing you that they won Wimpy's gift cards. It's extremely competitive. You'd be surprised. The girls were very unhappy that they didn't win that year. In 2023, we had 331 new users at the field house. Here you can see a breakdown of our monthly usage by area. Overall, March was our busiest month, which is pretty common, followed by January. If we look a little closer at the spaces, the bulk of our visits are for our fitness center, with 5,747. That's up from 2022. Our indoor track had 623 walkers. That's down, actually, and get this, from last year, it was 625, which frustrates me. Our pool use was amazing this year. We had 2,249 individuals visit and use our pool. We think it's because we have a lot more families swimming, so it's finally taken off the family swim program on the weekends and in the summer during the week. So we're pretty excited about that. We laugh because it's taken us 10 years to really get people to realize that that was something that was available for them, but we're really excited about it. In 2023, we had 8,624 visitors. That's about 1,000 more than we had the year before. We host lots of community events in the Spartan Fieldhouse for our families. We help with foundation events. We host the elementary swim nights. We do programs with the summer school special ed kids. We bring them into the pool to swim on Fridays for fun. And we open the pool for prime time. And this year it's my turn. And we'll be doing that next weekend, so we'll see you there from midnight to 2:30. And I just want you to all wish me luck being up that late. So that's going to be a challenge. Oh. Our volunteer program. The Gates Child Volunteer Program. I'd like to start by recognizing there's two types of volunteers here at Gates Child that we screen. One-time volunteers, those are grandparents, family members, parents, aunts and uncles who want to join a student on a field trip or attend a classroom event. And the other is a more traditional volunteer. These are individuals who help us on a regular basis by providing a service or have an expertise to share with our students. As you know, or you might remember, in 2021, we cleared the approval list and revamped the process, making it a two-step process. Part one is the Raptor application, and part two is a Microsoft form with the volunteers' information to share with the locations. We do this so all our staff members can easily have access to the information in a safe and shareable format. But another important thing is that the form includes important volunteer assurances and expectation information. So as they're going through the form, they're clicking, yes, I understand, yes, I understand. While the system seems a little bit cumbersome, it only takes about 10 minutes to complete both parts. And finally, you might recognize this volunteer in this picture. He joined our kids' cooking camp for the day, and I'm not sure if his skills improved or not, but hopefully they did. Here's a list of our volunteers by location. Shout out to Erin Eugene, who's amazing, and that's the reason why Brasser has 483 approved volunteers. But Zalika at the middle school is after her, and she's really doing a great job also trying to get people engaged at the middle school level. I think something that happens at the middle school level is the parent, at least it happened to me, the parents, the kids don't necessarily want their parents at the events. They want privacy at the events. So she has a little bit harder time. And Disney's after all of them, so we'll see what happens next year. But they're all doing a pretty good job. Pictured are some of our most popular. We're working with Rock Dog, the canine groups, and they're so much fun to work with, and our kids love them. Finally, our facility rentals. Derek oversees all the facility rentals for the district, and this includes the high school, the middle school, all of the elementary buildings, all of the fields, all of the stadiums, the stadium, the outdoor track. Everything on our campuses with the exception of the Performing Arts Center, which is overseen by Megan Beck. In 2023, he processed over 7,000 requests in Master Library. Of these, 5,000 of those were district groups. The other 2,000 are school feeder programs, nonprofit requests, and full-rate rentals. The primary locations that we use for most of our rentals are the high school, the field house, the middle school, and Florence Brasser. Some of the unique rentals that we had in 2023 included the New York State Drumline Championships, the Color Guard Championships, the Pancreatic Cancer Walk, and the elementary craft fairs. In 2023, we invoiced just over $39,000. Here you can see a breakdown by location. We also worked with Dr. Ball's team to develop a facilities rental manual, which outlines and clarifies the process used to rent our facilities. The requests are now submitted electronically by the requester using the master library system. We have lots of friends. We work regularly with the Monroe County Continuing Education Directors from Churchville, Spencerport, Brighton, Rush Henrietta, Honeoye Falls Lima, West Irondequoit, Webster, and more recently, Calmun and Brockport. And Derek is a member of a similar aquatic group with members from the area pools and the YMCAs. Both Derek and I are active members of the GC3 Community Connections, along with Chief Long and Angelina Pound, and Derek is the treasurer for that group. I am on the advisory board for the Friends of Gates Recreation. Gates Chile is a member of the Rochester Area Administrators of Volunteer Services Group, and I'm the head of the social committee. And we are members of the New York State Driver and Traffic Safety Association in connection with the Department of Motor Vehicle and State Education. And finally, we partner with Monroe County Clerk's Office to provide passport nights and permit testing. I just wanted to share two of our events that are coming up. Tomorrow night, we're hosting a passport night in the high school library. It's from 6 to 7:30. You're able to take pictures. You're able to, they don't process renewals, but they'll look at your renewal to make sure it's set to be mailed in, or you can apply for a brand new passport. That's from 6 to 7:30. Did I say that already? And another event that we're super excited about is our community band extravaganza, Band Together. This is a project with our Chris Oldfield's community concert band. And on June 9th, we're hosting a first ever community music festival. We have 8 bands attending from all over Monroe County. It's gonna run from 12:30 to 6 p.m. And we have 6 food trucks. And those food trucks are Chef's Agatina's, Rob's Kebabs, Rock City Sandwich, J&S Fried Dough, Lugia's, and GC3 will be selling drinks. So we hope very much that you'll join us for those events and encourage people to join us for those events. That's free. And we're expecting lots and lots of people. So with that, I close and thank you for your attention and welcome any questions or comments. Carrie.
Okay, I just want to tell you guys that today I reached out to the continuing ed office to Marla and Derek and said, hey, any suggestions for how to help me solve a problem with a swim lesson that wasn't quite a full swim lesson Boy Scout need? And they came to, I couldn't believe it, by the end of the day, they had a plan in place and got it all set up. So just reaching out, how they're willing to bend over backwards to help people, I really appreciate it. And I know the other family appreciates it as well. So thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, that moves us forward to our facilities, finance, and audit update.
Good evening, President Coffey, Vice President Richards, Mr. Daly, and the Board of Education. I'm Mitch Ball, the Assistant Superintendent for Business, and I will be giving a Finance Facility and Audit Committee report. So at the audit committee, the Finance Facility and Audit Committee meeting, we talked about the independent audit and just shared a general update on what's going on with the audit and upcoming steps. Talked about the internal audit, talked a little bit about the technology focus area. I know we've mentioned that before. Talked about the internal claims audit and the third quarter internal claims audit report and reviewed that. We talked in terms of finance about the budget. We talked about the school tax rates for both the town of Chi-Lai and the town of Gates based on preliminary assessments and equalization rates. Those have now been communicated in the budget newsletter. We talked about the Carissa and ARP funds, addressing a question that Mr. Moscato had regarding what will happen to positions that were in those funds that are set to expire on September 30th, sharing that those positions will be incorporated in the budget proposal that's going out to the public next Tuesday. We talked a little bit about facilities, talking about the capital project. I know you received an update tonight on that. We talked about future capital work, sharing that we intend to continue to work towards having a proposal to put out to vote with the public in February of 2025. And finally, we talked a little bit about the solar, potential solar project. That is also being widely communicated at this time. Are there any questions about the Finance Facility and Audit Committee meeting? All right, thank you very much and have a great evening.
You as well, thank you. All right, that moves us to our consensus. Oh, we can clap if you'd like, yes. Excellent, well done. All right, our consensus items. Do I have a motion to approve the consensus agenda? Dr. Richards, Ms. Davis, any questions or concerns? All in favor? The vote is unanimous. Can I have a motion to approve consensus items C through L? Ms. Littlewood, Ms. Kies, any question or discussion? All in favor? The vote is unanimous. That moves us on to superintendent's comments.
Well, today, we learned that congratulations are in order for the varsity boys lacrosse team. They won the Section 5 Sportsmanship Award in Class B. This is voted on by the officials that work games this year. Major kudos to the team and Coach Cam Gormel's leadership. This past weekend, Gates Chi-Lai played host to 20 schools for the GC Spartan Invitational. A great display of how our GC community and Greater Rochester area are all benefiting from amazing facilities. So the class of 2024 had a very special weekend celebrating their prom. 2025 had a special weekend celebrating their prom last Saturday. They looked great and had a great time, was had by all. And now they're just gearing up to prepare for this weekend where the class of 2024 is going to have their culminating dance and then have prime time. So we're wishing all our seniors a safe, fun, and memorable time together. And again, Friday morning, we have our simulation to help our seniors understand making good choices on Saturday night. Last week, I had the honor of celebrating Gates Chi-Lai's Outstanding Senior of the Year, Tyla Jackson. Each year, the Monroe County Council of School Superintendents recognizes one senior from every high school and the two BOCES in Monroe County with this award. Students are selected for this honor based on their scholarship, leadership, service, and character. Many congratulations to Tyla, who is planning to study pharmacy and earn an MBA at the University of Buffalo. Earlier this month, Mr. Olin, Mrs. Petrosino, and I attended the Act for Education Community Champions event at the Kodak Center. This year, Gates Chi-Lai honored Hillside Work Scholarship Program for their long-standing partnership with our district. They were very excited and thankful for the recognition, and we certainly appreciate the hard work they do on behalf of our Spartans each day. And I know everybody can't wait, but we're just 1 week away from the annual budget vote and board election. The vote will be held on Tuesday, May 21st from 6:30 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. in the Spartan Fieldhouse at Gates Chi-Lai High School. And don't forget The GC Education Foundation is hosting a food truck fundraiser that evening, so you are encouraged to come and get dinner on the day of the vote from 5 to 7 p.m. The Chef's Catering Mobile Kitchen will be meat, gluten-free, and vegetarian options for all. The GC Synchronized Swim Team put on quite a show last week at the Gates Chi Natatorium, also known as our pool. They were swimming into summer on Thursday and Friday last week. Thank you to all who attended to support our swimming Spartans. And then at the middle school last week, we also hosted members of our community last week for their annual Senior Citizens Dinner at our middle school. Students served a pasta dinner, and then attendees enjoyed a performance by our middle school musicians. And as Mrs. Shafalo mentioned, you're invited to enjoy GC's first Community Music Festival on Sunday, June 9th from 12:30 to 6 p.m. at the GC Performing Arts Center. The event will feature food trucks and performances by local bands, including the well-renowned GC Community Band. That is my report for this evening. Mrs. Coffey.
Thank you, sir. On that note, can I have a motion to adjourn our meeting? Mr. Long, Ms. Kais, any questions? All in favor? The vote is unanimous. Our meeting is adjourned.